Hey everybody, it's Dan Harris. Thank you for checking out our video series. Today we're going to be talking about my top 5 player props for week 6 of the NFL season. All right, let's start here with Darrell Henderson and let's go under 17.5 rushing attempts at -125. We've got a lot of question marks about this game, mostly on the Giants side, but this is one where we can feel pretty confident about it. Henderson has not gone over this number once this season. In his 4 games, it's been 16, 13, 14, and 17 carries. Now, admittedly, he probably goes over the 17 last Thursday against Seattle if he doesn't leave that game for a bit with the arm injury, but still, he's been under it in every game, and that's probably why this number is a little juiced up. But listen to what Sean McVay said after this last game. This is what he envisioned. Michel and Henderson working in tandem. Not a 50-50 split or anything like that, but certainly a meaningful role for Michel. So we've got a double-digit spread here. The Rams are going to be running the ball for sure, but they have deserved Super Bowl aspirations, right? I mean, it's a long season, and Henderson has already battled injuries, so we can expect McVay and the Rams to protect him and give Michel a bigger workload than usual in a game that the Rams should win. 17.5 is the perfect number for an under, even with the higher juice. Next up, let's go to Davis Mills and go over 209.5 passing yards at -110. All right, so you think this is an overreaction to the one big game for Mills, right? One day of 312 yards passing and boom, we're in? Not exactly. I mean, his first start was on a short week against a very good Carolina defense, and his next one was against the great Bills defense in Buffalo. And then the Patriots, where he just did very well, and now he gets the Colts. A Colts team that is 30th in defensive DVOA against the pass, that is decimated in the secondary, that just played an overtime game and is on a short week, and also is favored to win by nearly double digits. I do not have faith that Davis Mills can be a long-term quarterback in the NFL, but he's been more competent than I expected here in the short term. 209.5 passing yards in a negative game script against a bad pass defense that's exhausted? I'm totally happy with those odds. Let's stick in the same game and with the same theme and talk about Brandon Cooks going over 62.5 receiving yards at -110. Cooks has been held in check the past 2 games. He does have 8 catches on 12 targets, but just 70 total yards, but it's a little hard to hold that against him. In Buffalo, he drew Tre'Davious White, and in New England, well, we know exactly what Bill Belichick is going to do to an opposing offense, right? He's going to take away your best weapon, and that was Cooks. We just talked through the Indianapolis defense and how tired they are and how injured they are in the secondary. Also, they haven't really played well of late, even when they have been healthy. Xavier Rhodes, Kenny Moore, Rock Ya-Sin, they're all good players, but they've all showed cracks lately. This has the makings here of a decent game for Mills, as we said, and along with it, for Cooks too. Take the over on 62.5 receiving yards. Let's go back to an under here and talk about Hunter Renfrow going under 50.5 receiving yards at -110. Now, Renfrow has hit for us on the over before, but I am fading him a bit here. No, it's not because of John Gruden. I mean, honestly, I have no idea what the impact of that entire situation is. Instead, it is the matchup with Denver and Bryce Callahan. I mean, first, the Broncos are pretty stout against the pass anyway, right? I mean, just 207 passing yards per game, but Callahan specifically is playing at just a ridiculously high level thus far. They've had some easy matchups, yes, but in his coverage, he's seen just 14 targets and allowed 5 catches for 45 yards in 5 games. Hunter Renfrow is a really, really good football player, but in Denver, against Callahan, with his receiving prop total finally getting inflated a bit, I'm going to take the under here on 50.5. And finally, we'll stick in that same game and we'll go with Tim Patrick going over 49.5 receiving yards at -115. Now, I admit that this is based on me thinking that Casey Hayward is going to shadow Courtland Sutton here. He doesn't always shadow, but he generally stays on the perimeter, as does Sutton. Now, Patrick mostly does too, though he plays out of the slot about a quarter of the time, and more importantly, Hayward will usually take the alpha receiver in an offense when there is one, and in this matchup, that's Sutton. Patrick has 98 and 89 receiving yards in 2 of the past 3 games, and he's the primary option once Sutton is taken away. His target totals have gradually increased each week, and the passer rating on throws intended for him is 135.1. Now, even beyond Hayward, the Raiders' defense has been stout against wide receivers, but the ball has to go somewhere here, and the smart money is on Patrick. Take the over at 49.5. And that's going to do it for my top 5 player props for Week 6 of the 2021 NFL season. We'll be back doing this every single week, so make sure you are subscribed here to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/bettingpros.